Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. Cartoon Network throughout its history has been the place to go watch some of your animated favorites, your favorite cartoons, but in the early 2010s, Cartoon Network started to expand a bit into live action, and another area that they expanded into was the sports world. If you guys remember, back in 2011, Cartoon Network introduced the Hall of Game Awards, which was kind of their, I guess, rival or take on the Kids' Choice Award. The Kids' Choice Award was always something that was pretty big on Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network wanted to try to create their own version of that, so they did the Hall of Game Awards. It didn't really go over that well, I would say, because it was only on from 2011 to 2014, and since then, Cartoon Network hasn't had any sort of awards show, nor have they really had any sort of sports-themed shows on the channel. It's been back to, just a place to watch cartoons until now. And so apparently on February 19th, Cartoon Network is going to be airing the Teen Titans Go NBA All-Star Slam Dunk Contest, which is bringing sports back to the channel, but apparently they also did this last year, which completely flew under the radar because I had no idea they brought this back last year. But needless to say, like I said, this Saturday on February 19th, they're going to be airing the NBA Slam Dunk Contest hosted by the Teen Titans. And it's really curious to me that sports are, I don't want to say getting a home on Cartoon Network again, because this is just one event once a year, but it's interesting that they're highlighting it. Like, for example, right now, if you look at the rival kids channels, the kids animated networks, you have Nickelodeon, and they have some sort of NFL presence on it. They have some NFL games on Nick at times. Then Disney XD has the same thing. They also have some football games on. I know Nickelodeon, for example, has NFL Slime Time, where they talk about, I think, the week of NFL. Disney has ESPN affiliations, so sometimes they air, like for example, this year they aired the Pro Bowl, so sometimes they'll air some NFL games on it. So it's kind of interesting to see that Cartoon Network is trying to rival that, but not really, because like I said, this is only an event that's once a year. It's interesting to me that they're kind of dipping their toe in the water when it comes to the sports industry, but they're not going in full force. What I mean by that is they're only doing this one event as opposed to doing like a weekly show covering the NBA. I will say that in my opinion, I'm happy they're not doing a weekly showcase for the NBA. I really don't think sports have a place on Cartoon Network. Like, I get it, these sports companies, these sports associations, they're trying to introduce, the NBA or the NFL to kids at a younger audience by having them air on Nickelodeon and Disney, and then the NBA Slam Dunk Contest and Cartoon Network. But for the latter with Cartoon Network, it just feels so out of place. Like I said, it makes more sense for Nick and Disney in that they're doing it for the entire NFL season. But for Cartoon Network, I mean, when do they mention basketball on the channel? Never. This is the first time I've seen them mention basketball in the NBA Slam Dunk Contest. So it really seems like it's coming out of left field. It really doesn't feel like it fits on the channel at all whatsoever. And in all honesty, I kind of just question why they're doing it. What it could be is it might be a case of this was part of Tom Ashing's vision to create Cartoon Network as a rival to Disney. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about there's a whole thing where Tom Ashing's plan for Cartoon Network was to make it the new Disney. It was to make it a rival to Disney Channel and Disney XD and Disney Junior. And if you guys want to hear all the details we have on that, I'll leave a card above to that video. But what I really think this might be is maybe Tom Ashing's vision for Cartoon Network had the NBA involved in some way. Maybe they would showcase some games from time to time. Maybe they'd have like the Slam Dunk Contest on. Maybe they'd even do some stuff with baseball down the line, as I know TBS has the rights to some baseball games. Maybe his plan was to incorporate these sports into the channel as well. They probably have a license with the NBA to showcase the Slam Dunk Contest for maybe, 2 to 3 years or 4 years or whatever the contract is. So what I'm really thinking this is they have to have this on because they have a contract with the NBA that they're going to showcase the Slam Dunk Contest. So maybe, this will be the last year they do it. Maybe it will be 1 or 2 more years and then we'll never see it again. But all I know is that right now, looking at Cartoon Network, this just seems so out of place. Like I said before, it really doesn't fit the channel. I mean, you could argue, in the beginning of this video, I discussed the Hall of Game Awards. That felt out of place at the time, but you could argue that it made more sense than them having the NBA Slam Dunk Contest on it. The reason I say that is because the 2010s was a very much experimental time for Cartoon Network. they were starting to introduce shows on the channel on the animation side that were meant for older audiences. And what do older audiences often like? Some of them like sports, some of them like some live action content, so they were trying to appeal to everybody by introducing these live action shows, by introducing some presence of sports on the channel. While yes, it did feel out of place, and yes, that's not what Cartoon Network is meant to be, I feel like it made more sense back then because they were experimenting with the channel than it does right now. Right now, it's just completely out of left field because there is no live action presence on the channel other than, you know, the movies they play on Acme Night. So it really does feel out of place. I kind of don't understand why it's there, but like I said, it might just be that they have obligations to live up to a contract that they signed that lasts a couple of years, maybe 2 to 4 years, and that's why it's on this year. But anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. Are you guys surprised like me to see that the Teen Titans Go are hosting the NBA Slam Dunk contest on Cartoon Network? And did you also know that this was on last year? Because like I said, I had no idea this was a thing until now. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.